Okay, so hopefully some people on here maybe have looked into United Rentals a little bit, but what my elevator pitch would be kind of is United Rentals is the largest equipment rental company in the world, and probably 10, 15 years ago that meant just equipment rental, and we are probably the fastest evolving company as well, in my opinion. We have 6 to 7 different specialty divisions. And what that means, in my opinion, for people looking to join United Rentals is there's a boatload of opportunity. And, it is one of the fewer places now, in my opinion, that you can go to initially and have a career. I did not originally start with United Rentals and was acquired a couple of years ago. And I was astounded by just the tenure of a lot of employees that were fortunate enough to start with United Rentals early and have figured out that it's a really good place to work. So that's in a nutshell. The easy thing is we rent and sell construction equipment. When you go by job sites and you go by anything, you're going to see our gear. You're going to see when people are building buildings, they need things that we provide. They need things to do digging. They need things to get in the air. They need equipment to lift, forklifts, boom lifts, just all kinds of things. And, I kind of stumbled into this industry out of college, and I fell in love with it, and now I look for things that I never looked for when I was younger. I never thought about equipment rental. So that's pretty much the nutshell, in my opinion, of United Rentals. And then what we're looking for out of students, I've had a very good relationship with the Citadel, I'd say, over the last, say, 5 years, and been fortunate enough to hire a handful of individuals. And typically the position that we're looking for is an inside sales rep. And, my motto when I'm looking to hire is we hire for the future. We don't hire for the present. So the ISR position is an entry level role that you get to learn everything and anything about the company. And then you're looking to get promoted, to something as far as outside sales and then management and leadership. And we have many different avenues. But in my opinion, the ISR role is really the best thing to come in, because quite honestly, I believe if I hired someone out of college to be a manager, we'd be doing them a disservice. They need to learn the business. They need to learn the people that they'd be leading. And there's just a big advantage from actually getting in, doing the work, and proving what you're worth. So I see a thing or a chat from Susan on academic majors. Susan, I am very indifferent when it comes to academic majors. I am more interested in the person that we would be hiring. And what I'm looking for in a person is someone who is driven, someone who is coachable, someone who is competitive, someone who is fun. Are they going to be someone that comes in and everybody, feels better for working with them, or someone who's good, they're not going to work with? I want someone who's honest and someone who is going to be willing to admit their mistake and learn from it. And then, one thing I think I like from the Citadel that I tend to get is someone who's disciplined. Someone that, when you're hiring a 22-year-old person or somewhere in that age, you're not always sure what you're going to get. I feel like from the Citadel, I have a better idea of what I'm getting, and someone who's going to show up on time every day and put forth a good effort. So I'm not sure what I've left off. For the ones that have joined, I have asked one of your alma maters, I think, as far as Mason Jordan. We hired him a couple of years ago, and he's been promoted once or twice. I think it's been twice, and can probably speak to it if you have any questions more on a younger level.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was May of 19. Met Philip at the career fair, and had an interview in Charlotte, and kind of went that route, and was able to work at our local branch here in Charlotte, and had a good manager. Kind of what Philip was saying was get the basis, understand the industry, understand the equipment, understand what we're trying to accomplish at United. And I got that as on a sales standpoint as well as an operational standpoint, dealing with drivers, mechanics, learning the different contractors in the Charlotte area, different things like that. And after I did that for about a year, we implemented a sales support team in Charlotte, which receives all of the sales calls with all of our branches in Charlotte. And so that was more experience on the sales side for me. Is you're literally, if somebody needs something or, you know, something quick, anything like that, they'll call the branch, and all those calls will go to our center. And I was one of 5 people answering the phones, helping out customers in that aspect. Another thing which is very helpful for me now that I've progressed in the field is that we also have an email chain. So if I'm driving down the road and someone calls me and they need something, I can email that chain and they'll help me out putting in an order, finding out where equipment's at, anything like that. So you get the sales side of the phone as well as the way emails work. And another good thing about that is we'll get emails directly from customers. So we see how business is conducted and different things like that directly from customers. Different reps email in, like I said, and they'll also have the customer on the email as well. So you get the best of both worlds of seeing what we're doing internally and externally as far as the sales support side. And we're also up there with our dispatch team who's doing all the trucking. So we're sitting there in a big room, you know, coordinating what's going on, where we got drivers, you know, when can we get this out? When do we have this equipment, different things like that. So it's this SST, what we call it, sales support team, is with the dispatch team. So we're kind of centralized, and it's very useful as far as the Charlotte market to be able to communicate and work together on getting our goals accomplished that day, that week, you know, whatever it may be.
Perfect. Thank you. And Susan, I see another question. How has COVID affected what y'all are doing? You know, I'd say initially back, say March and April, it had a pretty big impact. We are fortunate enough for our business to be deemed essential. So we never had to close any stores, and no one lost their job or any hours. And, you know, I would say it impacted me more initially because I was asked to work remote for a while, and which is new to me. I'm trying to always be in branches, getting to see the people. And unfortunately, what we started seeing was a little bit of disengagement and a little bit of complacency in certain areas. So the company has shifted back to kind of releasing us out to travel and go to different branches, understanding that we're doing the right things, that we are wearing masks and that we're social distancing and, you know, just cognizant of all of that. But the COVID effect today is much more decreased, I would say. I would say we're all aware of it, but we've learned to live with it. And as far as a business impact, we're hopefully pretty much back on par. The you know, the construction's still going.
Susan, I see your question about the Citadel and kind of what helped me as far as today. I think a little bit going back on what Philip says is just being disciplined. You know, right now we've got all different things to do, and having a schedule and being able to commit time and have that different aspect of a schedule. Whereas, you know, the Citadel prepares you waking up early, having class, you have ESP, which is, you know, your time to study. There's a time for everything. And that's no different than what I'm experiencing out on this job. Is there's a time where I've got to want to go to certain jobs to say, talk to different people. Then there's a time where I want to go to a couple offices and say, you know, hey, to people, I've got a sales meeting here at 3:30. So it's more or less, you know, the scheduling and the structure of the Citadel will definitely help anybody in this industry.
Can you talk a little bit about that transition, going from, like you just said, you know, all that structure to kind of maybe a little bit less structure, obviously be, you know, working and things like that?
Yeah. So at the Citadel, you know, we get up early, we work out, all those things, different things like that. And it's more, I mean, I've carried that on to my day to day now. I mean, I still get up early and do a quick workout before work. And, you know, just having that time to dedicate to different things has helped me. And this new role is definitely challenging as far as time management, because there's so much stuff you want to get done in a day. How do you make your day most useful, most impactful from a day-to-day standpoint? How do I make sure all 8 to 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever I've got going on that day, I'm making it count? You know, there's, like I said, you've got a lot of stuff going on, and that's the same as school. You know, you've got school, you got extracurricular, flag football, whatever you want to do, social life, all that different things. And the Citadel's definitely helped me in my 2 years out of being school, set my priorities straight and make sure everything I've got during the day gets done the best I can. You know, it obviously doesn't work out every day like you think it will, but it's definitely helped me.
And Tyler, I'll say to Mason's position today. So Mason was promoted probably in the last couple months to outside sales. So he's in a role now where he wakes up and he goes to work. He doesn't report to an office. He's responsible for what he's doing, and his job essentially is to go drive business with customers at their offices, on their job sites in different ways. And he may go days without seeing his boss, and he'll talk to him on the phone. But there's a lot of self-discipline, and there's a lot of reliance on him to do what he's supposed to do. And then when he talks about productivity, at the end of the day, the hardest worker is going to do the best, and he is responsible for covering his territory. So everybody gets the same hours in the day, but they don't get the same productivity. So we're relying on him to figure out how to do more in those hours than everybody else. I see a message from Jordan. So the hiring and interview process, I think is pretty normal. And, you know, you go to the UR.com or UnitedRentals.com. I apologize for not the exact one. And you would apply for the position, which would be an ISR position, inside sales rep. What I would also prefer anybody on there is shoot me an email when they apply, and that is pwright3@ur.com. Just if I get that visibility to it, I'll make sure that the phone communication goes and we set an interview. So what would happen is, you know, a recruiter would call you and just kind of do some intake questions, and that's kind of just, you know, who are you and what's your history? And then you would have an interview with a branch manager. And if that went well, there was probably one more interview with the branch manager and either the sales manager or myself. And so it's pretty seamless, I would say. And that's about it. I don't, you know, I'll go ahead and add to it. I kind of put a note down. You know, obviously we like a resume in the application. However, I'm just going to be honest. You're college graduates, so the resumes, I don't expect a whole lot looking at that from, you know, what you've done. It's a good conversation starter because I'm more interested in who I'm hiring, the person, but the resume is just something to kind of reference. And then Susan, that email is P as in Peter, Wright, WRIGHT, the number 3@ur.com.
So I have a question about locations. I know you said, and I see United Rentals all over. So is it really across the United States? I mean, of course, you probably have a specific territory that you kind of work with, but I mean, if students theoretically wanted to go anywhere, is it all over? Are there certain regions? Like what's the situation with the locations, I guess?
So let's say it's essentially anywhere. I am selfish in that I prefer my area, which is Western North Carolina, which is half the state. I know from the kind of Q&A we had back in either December or November, I can't remember what it was. It was for the winter graduates. We did get somebody, and my counterpart in Raleigh, I think, is hiring that person. So I've got connections through the Carolinas and Virginia as far as direct connections, but it's anywhere. You know, you can go online and throughout the country, you can find some positions.
And I think for the most part, our students do want to stay in the Southeast, you know, Virginia, Carolinas, Georgia, but I was just curious, you know, just I guess kind of as a random question.
Yeah.
Or she might be looking for another job.
Would you say?
You might be looking for another job.
Well, yes, that is true. Yeah. My time at the Citadel is coming to an end. Susan is not like,
oh no,
or anything. I'm leaving the Citadel in May. So that's what she's referencing. She's not, she's not throwing me under the bus in any way.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, in them positions, just for me, and it seems like there's always a position. I'll tell you one thing that we do is, if we have the right person, we'll find an opening. We'll make a position because, again, we're looking for the future. We're not just looking for the present. But currently I've got an opening in Rock Hill, which is just south of Charlotte. I've got an opening in Charlotte. I've got an opening in Mooresville. So, within, I'd say, a 30-mile radius, we've got 3 openings right now, and I don't see that changing. And Mason's old job is open because he got promoted.
Well, there you go. You have a plan after May.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll say that I am partial to my area over everyone else's is it's the way I got into this industry was through an inside sales rep. I'm a huge fan of promoting from within. So for people to get good opportunities in my area, they usually have to start out on my team because, if I have an outside sales rep position, which is what Mason just got, and I have 6 people that are interviewing for it, and 5 of them are external, even if they are internal with United Rentals, and 1 of them is internal, and I've got to spend a year getting to know that person and feeling comfortable with their work ethic and their performance, that's probably going to be the person that gets it.